Okay, hello, hi. There we go. Welcome to another stream of Lyrebird Edits. It's been a little while, hasn't it? It's been, oh, it's Thursday now. It was last week when we had our last stream. So apologies for not organizing Sunday's stream properly, but we are here now, and we've already descended into utter chaos on my new chronologically reordered, timeline here. Many congratulations to Cuddly Clem for being first. Well done. Well done. Herring, second. No one cares about the second person. Anyway, hi. I was reading through all your comments, so I'm up to date. Clever. Actually, I'm not up to date. I missed one of the two of them. Beautiful. Alright, and we're in for a good stream tonight because this is a story that we've actually done in the past before, and a couple of you might remember. This is Sayaka's story. You also may know Sayaka as Stupid Anime Girl? There you are. Or Real Sayaka. Who is the real Sayaka? So we did her a couple of months ago, but how long ago I don't exactly remember. I didn't look it up. But we've done this story before. And Sayaka's actually here. Oh my god! Oh no. I'm not controlling this. I have no say over the quantity or quality of Shrek dumped into this document. Someone, and I'm not going to point up here and to tell you who it is, but someone may also be in this little story too. So very. Oh, I can't edit Shrek out. Sayaka, can you get rid of Shrek, please? I love the alt text hard coded onto this image. That's wonderful. Or you can leave Shrek here if you want. It's your story, but I'll have to edit the Shrek comment. Unusual way to start a story, but no, I was gonna comment on Shrek. That's all right. Bye bye Shrek. Yeah. So we've done. Use your own document or the Shrek continues. Okay, good to know. Biakuaz. Yeah, there. I will comment into my own document. Why not? Control C. We'll go into Google Docs. Control V. Why watch Fortnite streams or Dark Souls streams when you can watch someone copy-paste text into a new Google Doc? This is where it's at. This is the future of Twitch streaming. Good. Nice one. So yeah, we will be doing this edit in this box. So I will send... I'll turn on suggestion mode. Sayaka, I'll send this to you after the stream. And then we will get into it pretty soon. Let me just go back a little and see if I've missed people. Hello, Lilith Lovecraft. Hello. Hi. How are you doing? Good morning to you. Good evening from me. Good evening from me. Yeah, we are, aren't we? I think that's the beauty of the internet, and I don't know, like my stream attracts a lot of different people from different time zones. So I'm always interested where people are in relation to me. Because I'm in a bit of a tucked away country. But yeah, it's always nice when people come on at odd times and say hello. So hello. Thank you, Outrider ST. Thank you. It's a years of practice. It's a refined skill, the old copy paste 1-2 Fandango. But yeah, we'll get there one day with you know, elevating you guys to the quality of the copy paste. Germany here. Oh, cool. Hey, Silent TV. 22. Nice. So we got. I think we've got like a nice spread of people right now. Just trying to think. I don't think I've had anyone from Germany before. Maybe one. Oh, I can't remember. I have a threat of Shrek. Yes, I don't want to be pushed out of a document again. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what Sayaka's done to change this story from last time. Texas. I'm truly sleepy at the moment. Hopefully I can lull you into a nice sleep. or keep you awake, either way, whichever is more beneficial. Yeah, I think that's probably right, Psycho. It's a defense mechanism. I didn't know you were from Germany. I only knew your time zone. I assumed you were from Poland. I don't know why. DC not important. No, it wasn't a diss. I didn't know that you were German. Oh, there you go. You're German. And yes, I've got the Minion mug. So with the Minion mug ready, I reckon it's time to start. So, yep, your accent Australia. I am Australian. Correct. But I sound a bit British-ish sometimes, but not full-on British. Just enough so that people talk to me and they're like, "Are you from Australia?" Like, where did you grow up? I've lived here all my life. Just happens occasionally. East. Sydney way. That's on the east coast. What do I remember from last time? So, if you guys remember Sayaka's story from last time, it had, from what I remember, it was about a man who woke up in his apartment with I won't spoil it, but there was some sort of modification to his body, and he couldn't really figure out what it was. People were treating him a little differently, and I guess it was a combination of like a ghost story and a bit of horror. At least that's my recollection of it. So it was just many months ago, and now we're going to be taking a look at the rewrite, and I'm not sure how extensive it is, but why don't we dive in? We'll see how we go. say mate. Yeah, there are lots of ways to say mate. Mate. Lots of Australian accents, and they're all horrible. Prominent. Oh, cool. Good. And maybe not so good. There's a huge difference between UK and Aussie, but like there's a weird convergence in like posh but not too posh British and neutral-ish Australian, and it doesn't sound all that dissimilar. There you go. So from Clem's ears, I don't sound at all British. Which is probably a good thing. I was talking to a British person the other day and listening to their accent. And because, I don't know, maybe just because of the way they were talking, I was kind of leaning into their accent. Then there's the C-bomb. It invariably comes out when you're talking about Australians. I think that's right. Okay, let's dive in. Let's do this. Irish is better. I'm gonna start an accent fight here. So that writer's already made a bit of a comment about the repetition of eyes. Let's keep our... okay, I'll say it. Let's keep our eyes open for the eyes. Oh, I'm sorry. Like and subscribe. I woke in a panic sweat. God, it was bad. I remember that from last time. I was a simmering peak of damp rag. I felt dog-tired, all but drained of energy. Clutching at my chest, I laid restless, gasping for a hint of air. I needed to calm down. I couldn't stay like this. I kicked my feet over the edge of the bed, intent on a quick shower. A good soak would at least rid me of the sweat and give me a chance to get hold of my senses. I staggered toward the bathroom and flicked the switch, expecting to be greeted by a blinding light, but it never came. I blinked, bleary-eyed, confused, until I remembered there would be no light. The damn bulb burned out 2 weeks ago. I'd have to repeat the motions that had become almost routine, feel my way around the wall until I found the shower, while cursing myself for not replacing the bulb sooner. I hopped into the shower, let the water flow over me, and experienced instant relief as the sweat slipped away down the plug hole, never to be seen again. As that dreadful feeling faded, my mind began to clear. Now I could try to figure out what had got me here. I'm going to highlight this in yellow. Something made me experience a violent awakening, yet I had no idea why. It was a bad dream. If it was a bad dream, I had already forgotten it. Dreams don't linger long in memory, but it had only been a few minutes. I should have remembered something, but I drew a blank. It wasn't my heart acting up again. I hadn't realized I'd forgotten to do something important. I couldn't come up with anything. I just had to go back to bed and get on with my life. I wiped down and dried my feet so as to not slip among the darkness. Spare myself a concussion or worse. Gonna hide that in pink. I closed the bathroom door behind me and threw on some fresh pajamas, fumbling a bit to get them on in the dark. A faint scent of sweat still lingered on the sheets. I'd just have to mask it and replace them in the morning. I got back into bed, but I was overcome with the feeling that something heavy was over me, a dead weight. I could feel it in my gut, something just wasn't right. I rolled my eyes at it, hoping I wasn't about to get sick. I couldn't do anything about it, so I tried to sleep it off, and so I rolled onto my side and let my eyes begin to close. But I hadn't slept a wink before I had to contend with another interruption. Someone had the nerve to call me at this hour. This hour, what? 3:24 AM. My alarm clock read through hazy eyes. Clock read through lazy eyes. I'm gonna highlight my alarm clock and put a red there. My phone vibrated violently. That's how you spell vibrate. Yeah. Google's just having a bit of a fit there. My phone vibrated violently. My desire to answer had shriveled up and died sometime during the night. It rang for a few more seconds and then gave up. Not 30 fucking seconds later, it rang again. It wasn't a prank caller who had picked out a random number. Someone was trying to reach me. The caller ID was unknown. And curiously, the text on the screen was a dark red, not the phone's usual UI elements of blue and white text. I put the phone to my ear. Something's coming, came a sinister voice. Click. Just a prank call after all then. At least I had the power to put an end to it. I turned off the phone, ready to finally get some shut-eye. I got comfortable, stretching my arms out, taking a big yawn. My feet brushed against the lovingly soft sheets. At last, the break I so desperately needed, but no, a horrible grating punctured my ears. I'm gonna stop there, and we're gonna talk about this first section, which is 627 words, so it was sort of like 2.5, 3 pages of a novel. Let me go back and read what you guys have said. Let us distract you. Who is this guy? Who is Sayaka? Ooh, affectations. I love that word. I think they sound quite different, the American and British. But then again, you got different sort of parts of America to compare against. I got myself a like from Cuddly Clem. Yes. And also a subscribe. Yes. Now I've got to tell you about how you can get like really high quality shavers. Herringbone, if you're in the stream chat, why don't you do the honors? Why don't you tell us all about the wondrous high quality shavers that you can get from the Dollar Shave Club? I think we could all benefit from a dollar shave. Liar. Says DC not important. Yes. Should I write this? Give it to you to edit. You can something. The need to suffer. It's totally up to you. Like, if you feel like you want to have something edited over stream, probably don't write it just so that I could edit. That kind of feels like it's more of a showcase. I sort of feel like, if you want to expand on your writing, then write it in your own time and then play with it yourself for a while. I guess I prefer to take people's stories once they've been worked over a couple of times. And I guess I do it more so that we can all learn from it rather than just have like a challenge script before me. I guess that's more like the vibe of my stream. So yeah, up to you. I had to top my fan fiction. So Outrider SG says, drop that first 30 and the comma. So we got 30 fucking seconds. I remember that. You could brush it up with that. I think what Sayaka is trying to go for is like a repetition of 30 to drag it out. We'll get to that when we go down there, but that's good spotting, Herringbone. Outrider SG. Herring says, I like a stronger sense of pace and a stronger sense of place and a slower pace. When I re-enable YouTube comments? Soon. I don't need them disabled any longer. I was broken addicted to shaving before I found the Dollar Shave Club. I'm a millionaire with no regard for people. I'm not sure what you mean by this first part. But as for the second, I figured it out on my own, so don't worry about it. So let's get back to the edit. So Outrider says like a lot of rapid fire observations and a dearth of variety in sentence structure. So I think I agree with that. I feel as though, how to put this? My phone vibrated. I think what we've got here is a collection of events that are strung together in like a linear sequence. We've got I'm awake, I'm in my room, time for a shower, there's no light bulb, I'm in the shower. What was that dream about? I don't remember. Now I'm back in my room, now I've got my pajamas on, now I'm back asleep, now someone's calling me, and now I turn my phone off. So those 11 things that happen back to back, they are, I suppose, how to put this? Like in the past, I've kind of used the comparison to like a Wikipedia summary, but I don't think it's quite that bare bones. I think we've got the skeleton here for how all the different events work together. That was loud. I have very thin walls, but yeah, so what was I going to say? Apart from like the repetitions of I was doing this, I was doing that, I did 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 that. Well, I mean, why don't we just dive right in and we can sort of take it as it comes. But I think what Outrider SG was talking about before is something that we're going to have to look out for again. I remember that from the first edit, this is quite familiar. Structurally, it's not all that different. So, one thing structurally that I still, and this, I said this in the first edit too, one thing that I would really like to see is this sense of panic all the way through. Sayaka, I said this in your last stream as well with her, but it's difficult to have a story where you start off with, I woke in a panic sweat, God it was bad, and here's my bodily reaction to it. And then you don't carry that sense of panic down into the way that everything is written. From here on out, it's kind of like, I feel like at most his emotion is set to mildly annoyed, whereas for this opening sequence, what I'd really like to see, is a sense that, how so? There's a sense that his panic is underwriting. I'm assuming the main character is a he. That his panic is underwriting his perception of events. What I mean by this is that because we're writing in the first person, the narration needs to have a bit more emotion written in, instead of a more impersonal series of events. Yes, I can spell. Instead of like more of a series of impersonal. And I say that because, clutching at my chest, I lay restless, gasping for a hint of air. I'll deal with that in a second. I just want to talk about this structurally. I needed to calm down. I couldn't stay like this. I keep my feet over the edge of the bed intent on a quick shower. A good soak would at least rid me of the sweat and give me a chance to get hold of my senses. Okay, so this is fine in terms of like the panic sense. But when we get here and here, I hopped into the shower, let the water flow over me, and experienced instant relief. My mind began to clear, so it's quite functional. But, for example, what we don't have is sentences like, blah blah blah. Like, this is all, again, disclaimer, it's placeholder, don't use it word for word, it's overblown, blah blah blah. This is the kind of emotion that I feel as though should be present within the narrative, but is kind of lacking. Under the cold hiss of the shower, I rested my head against unforgiving tiles. Eyes closed, breath coming in long, jagged, drawn-out heaves. Short sentences like that and that, with sort of almost grammatically incorrect phrases, really help set the sense that your narrator is actually like I need to just. And that's the kind of emotion that I think you need to write in between all of these lines here. Like, from a functional perspective, everything here is okay in terms of what the story structure, how it weaves. Sorry, like I know that you guys have been talking, but I've just been on a bit of a roll. So let me finish up, and I'll go back and have a bit of a look. But I sort of feel like that this, even if you don't use the same words, don't use the same words. Like, my heart was on fire and I couldn't rid myself of the flame sounds like something an emo teenager would write, but it just came off the top of my head then. What this does, but this doesn't do, is well, it's not even telling me, it's showing me through the types of word choices, through the types of sentence structures, it's showing me the fear in the narrator's mind. Got there in the end, sorry. And I think that's the difference between a story that goes like an epic fantasy style. Now this character is doing this, now they're here, now they're there, now they're there. This is more of a personal, juiced up story. With the more you do this and the less you do, I hopped into the shower, let the water flow over me. And experienced instant relief as the sweat slipped away down the plug hole. So this is telling me, as a narrator, first person, you're telling me that the relief is washing over me. Fine. This implicitly does it for me without even needing to say the relief is coming to me. This is saying something different, but through its construction, hopefully you'll see that it's kind of more emotional. Whew, okay, I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna go through and read over on this screen, this one here. So I'll be looking over here. Sayaka says, maybe what my story needs is more alliteration. Let's put a pin in that idea. What's the deal with this is Outrider SG says this Venom ad supports Twitch. What does Venom like? It's a Spider-Man thing up like spin-off thing. Are they trying to market it as like an R17 edgy violent Spider-Man? I'm not on board with what Venom is. Sayaka says, pace is a real challenge for me. Scott from Scott Writes Stuff always says my writing uses too many words. That's an interesting point. I don't know if it's too many words, but maybe it's too many micro events. I'll come back to that in a second. No, Sayaka, you haven't disappointed me with your lack of progress. No, not at all. I don't expect you to like get it absolutely perfect in every subsequent edit that we do. I guess it's more about just having a conversation about where you're at with this story, and if you're happy with it too. That's kind of the most important thing to aim for. It's to make you confident in your work, and also to, I guess, push you in the right direction. Yeah. Van Whitman. Oh, hi, Van Whitman. Hi, welcome back to the stream. I like your verbose interjections on the Twitch chat. Stories of microtransactions. A new paragraph cost a couple of cents. That's brutal. Very brutal. But yeah, I think verbose text works really well in short, small, sweet doses. You don't want to overdo it, I guess. Yeah. Outrider SG says this starts off with the intense sensations in what seems to be a mundane situation can make it difficult later when things kick off. Up to 11 attention fall flat. Think of it like an emotional inflation. So I guess like I think what Outrider SG is saying is that you don't want to be like blur at the start of a story and then be like, ha, okay, just kidding, now I'm having a shower and everything's a bit slow. Yeah, I agree. You kind of want to be a bit careful about how you open a story. Let's talk about that too. No link. Yeah, I was wondering why Outrider's comment had like a link missing. Spelling? What's that? Kind of Mars, I am drinking Twinings Earl Grey. Only the finest Earl Grey for Lyrebird. Bye Earl Grey. Bye Twinings. Twinings are my new sponsor. Wouldn't that be a weird sponsorship to get? It's like, yeah, Lyrebird, we love what you do. We love your live Twitch fiction editing. Yeah, we think it's going to be the next hot thing. We want you to be the face of Earl Grey tea. And Mum and Dad said I'd never accomplish anything. Look at me now. I'm the sponsor for Earl Grey. Twinings Earl Grey, only the best. I like that. Anticipating an average amount of alliterations. Ah, that's nice. I like that. Birds don't drink tea. No, we can start them off though. We can make them drink tea. Do you drink one cup and pour another cup of hot water? Oh, that's a good question. Yes, I do both. I know. I have the worst of both worlds. If I want to hit, I use a fresh tea bag. If I just want something to drink, I'll reuse my old tea bag, like a commoner. So as Outriders, this is the point I want to jump off of. It starts off with an intense sensation. Oh, this is like, yeah, your copy paste from before. Gotcha. Let's talk about this then. Part of the reason you don't want to ruin any sort of emotional expectation is because your reader needs to have a bit of their, well, they need to have their finger on the pulse when it comes to, how to put this. When they're first reading your story, very quickly they will need to understand whether or not, well, where they are, who we're dealing with, if they're in danger, is this an exciting scene, is this a quiet scene, and I guess you don't want to, yeah, start off with a jump scare equivalent and then have nothing to follow it through. It's fine to start off like this, but if you want to keep that going, you probably should keep that going. You don't have to like make it all super tense, but just if you start off with this quite visceral reaction and then dial it back completely, it sort of feels like you're not giving your reader enough of a footing to emotionally engage with the words on the page. It comes across a bit more like a ploy just to get them in. And I know that's not what you're doing, obviously, but the downside of writing like this and then like here is the panic, and from here onwards down to like here it's calm. So either you make the panic consistent or you make it a bit sort of sinusoidal. You ramp it up, you go down, you ramp it up, you go down, totally fine. But having the A-B split makes it a bit difficult to really sink your teeth into it, I guess. Hmm. Start so because I know the start of the story has to absolutely grip the reader. Yeah. So okay, well maybe in that sense you were trying to manufacture the start of this story so that it is engaging. The downside is that it can come across as a bit conceited. It's a word that has a lot of emotional or negative implications to it, but it doesn't. It's not strictly bad. It just means that it's or contrived in a sense. It's constructed in such a way that it's supposed to hook you in, like a 1-2 punch combination. It's fine if you do the 1-2 punch, but you need to have the two. You can't just be like and then sit there. You sort of need to follow it up a bit more. It's bad for business. So true, Van Whitman. You don't want to kill your readers before they start reading your story. I don't know how to start the story interesting but emotionally consistent. Okay, well, maybe we can, between chat and me, give you some ideas about how you might like to do it. Hmm. Those are silly pop-up books. You can't really jump scare the reader. Blah. Imagine like a spooky vampire coming up. Love it. What would I suggest here? Well, I think Outrider says, what's really happening here that's got him in a flop sweat? It's a good question. That's kind of all I care about so far. I know why you start with all of these scenes, because then the monster, spoilers a little bit, the monster comes from the bathroom, so you need to establish the bathroom there in the first place. What's an interesting way to open this story? Waking up from a dream is neither here nor there. It's lots of stories start that way. That's fine. Um, so what do we want out of the opening of this story? I'd argue that we need a sense of, here I am, this is my apartment, and I am feeling like shit. Like, I've had this dream, I wake up, and I can't calm myself back down. Why do I feel this way? I'm in the bathroom, I try and flick the light switch on, but it doesn't work. I'm under the shower, I'm still not there, back in bed now, maybe I can get some sleep, the phone rings. So that's what happens in the story. Functionally, fine, we can work with those elements, but I think what's happening here instead is that it lacks the emotional punch, the follow-up. So maybe we can have a think about how we can restructure it. Hmm. Hmm. That's one way to do it, Panda from Mars, is to actually have an image of the story. It's not a bad way to do it, for sure. Is you start off with something that's a bit more fundamental to the panic, and then when he wakes up, um, he can have it fresh in his mind. The downside to that is that Sayaka wants the dream to fade away. And I think I remember saying this in the last stream, but I drew a blank. I think Sayaka wanted this to happen where he wakes up but he can't quite remember why he's so panicked. So, if we start with the tail end of a dream, that might be contradictory, but it's a good idea, and I think that's... There are two A's in your name! Huh, I just noticed that. Nice. Let the story happen in your head, then write about it. That could work too, right? I guess in terms of like plotting and trying to get it out on the page. Yeah, I think that could work. A vague dream. A vague dream could work. Like an element from the dream. The MC doesn't remember. So that makes it a bit difficult then to do this. But you could have an uneasy sense following this character. I woke in a panic sweat. God, it was bad. I was a simmering pig, a damp rag. I felt dog-tired, all but drained of energy. I'm going to put that on the same line. Clutching at my chest, I lay restless, gasping for a hint of air. For a hint of air, it doesn't need to be a hint. So for instance, gasping for air versus gasping for a hint of air. It's a bit more straightforward. I needed to calm down. I couldn't stay like this. I kicked my feet over the edge of the bed and turned to a quick shower. A good soak would at least rid me of a sweat and give me a chance to get a hold of my senses. You could replace most of this with, I felt all tied up or drained of energy. We need to get him from the bed to the bathroom, but it could be really as simple as, I need a shower, or I needed a shower, full stop. The trouble with that is that we've already got quite a few sentences that start with I. So for instance, if you get rid of I felt and put dog tired, all but drained of energy, my... I'm gonna get this one here, put it up there. I needed a shower, full stop, blah. I staggered to the bathroom. I'd have to repeat the motions that had become almost routine. Feel my way around the wall until I found the shower while cursing myself for not replacing the bulb sooner is more mild annoyance. Here's how you write the same sentence but with a bit more... Oh, don't cry, Herringbone. No. No. Oh, you have to go. Oh no, Sayaka. That's a shame. Oh well. Yeah. Well, do you want me to continue? I can switch over to Sean's story if you like, but otherwise I can just give you more suggestions and you can watch on Twitch or YouTube a bit later. Yeah, actually I'm in the zone, so yeah, I'm in the zone. I kind of want to do more. Let me know. Switch to Shawnee boy. Sean, you up? Send me something over Discord, Sean. He does it. Oh, throwing some shade. Yeah, I always love Sean's stories, no matter how often we do them. Always, always. Yeah, I think everyone was in the zone for this one. You were getting some good stuff there. Yeah, sec. The edge of reality. I love it. That's a shame, Sayaka. They could work too. That's good. Yeah. Yep. Orient themselves. That's interesting. I like that Outrider SG, like having yesterday's event bleed into the present. The character's moving too quickly. That could go two ways. The quick choppy nature could work well with a panic scenario, or you could really stretch out the motions and make it a bit more unusual and unsettling. So that can go both ways, I think. Gasping for a sliver of air would also work, but I think the reason why I got rid of it was because it was all too... I'm not sure, actually. Tell you what, while Sean sends me something over Discord, let me just keep going a little bit more with this. Ah, there we go. Sean sent something. I want to finish up this idea before I come back to Sayaka's story another night. What I really suggest doing is keeping the hectic, choppy, panicked vibe going. So I took a shaky breath and forced myself in, feeling along the walls from memory until the shower came to my touch in, water on. Exactly the same as what you've written. The difference though is that it doesn't sound like he's mildly annoyed, it sounds like he's angsty and on edge. That's all you really need to do with this opener of a story to make it more emotional. And you can cut other bits out and make it a bit sort of more concise, but this is the heart of what I think you can work on. It's not so much changing the events per se, it's to how the narrator is talking about the events. Yeah. It's beautiful. Very nice, DC Important. Very nice. Reese's does really do they? Well, that's news to me, Outrider. Alrighty. So Sayaka, you've got to go now, right? So let me pick this up another day. I'll save this like that in my drive, and when you got more time, come back on, and we'll put you in and continue on with your first page. Oh yeah, no, I'm just sitting here. Look, I think what I'll do is I think I can update the title of the by I think I can update the title of the Twitch stream mid-stream? Maybe not. Maybe what I'll do is I'll cut this stream off and then restart it immediately with the new names. Sit tight, I'll be back in a minute.